Okay, so since Supernatural just recently aired its final episode and it's ending, I thought, you know what, why not rank them? Because time's right. I'm thinking about this, actually. So why not rank them all 15 seasons of Supernatural rank. Basing this off of memory, because I did not rewatch previous seasons. I know how I feel about most of them. Some of them may differ if I plan to like rewatch them again, but I think these are my concrete rankings of each season. So at number 15, the worst season in my opinion is...
Where is Sam?
There was a woman waiting for us. I don't know what happened to Sam.
Needed to be eliminated.
I want to catch Lucifer to keep the world safe.
Season 12. Oh man, so season 12, it started pretty good with the main antagonists were with the British Men of Letters. It was not at all great. It was a very dull villain, very boring, very human-like villain. Nothing supernatural about that at all, right? But the season starts off pretty good. The mother coming back, how angels, when they get cast away by that light, they go down. Good filler, good healer episode. And even in the second half, it's actually pretty good. What brings this down is sort of how dumb some of the characters. It's like Crowley. So there's this point where Lucifer comes back because of what they did in season 11, and instead of putting him back into the cage, Crowley devises a plan to keep him in hell so that he can torture him. He wants Lucifer gone, but they bring him back because Crowley wants revenge on him for treating him like a dog.
You hit me. I hit you back twice as hard.
In season 11, it's like, no, get rid of him. Lucifer's not a threat no more because of Amara of the Darkness. Like, he's not no threat no more. And then, you know, we get some boring filler episode with more British people. And when they die in the penultimate episode, it's like, thank God it's over. They're gone. They were boring. And then season has probably one of the worst finales ever, with killing off your boy Crowley and Castiel for no reason, by the way. Because in the earlier seasons, the reason why a character died was because of the boy's confidence and sort of cockiness, or they serve a purpose. Mainly the villains, they die for a reason. Casting and Crowley dying made no sense. Crowley had this MacGuffin spell because if he knew this spell to cast with people in other worlds, why didn't he use it against the boys in season 6 and 7 and 8? Again, MacGuffin bullshit. And from what I've heard, this is Mark Sheppard wasn't really happy playing the character no more since season 9 or 10. So he's been doing the same thing over and over again. So that's why they rid him off. Not even the best way possible. So yeah, it sucks. And everyone knows Castiel's coming back because, you know, it's Cass. Number 15 is season 12. Number 14 is, surprisingly enough,
Yeah, you keep saying that. You don't recognize me with this pretty face?
Stop. That means Dean dies too?
Then he dies.
Who's next?
season 14, where this season's not bad. It's okay, kind of garbage. It's so boring though. Like, we have Michael Dean, right? The other world Michael from this other world decides to possess Dean, and you know, cool idea. It's more of Demon Dean, but just more angelic, as you would say. And what did they do with him? He's in him for 2 fucking episodes. Okay, all right, sure, wasted thing there, but okay, sure. He goes away until the mid-season finale, shows up there, comes back in the mid-season premiere, gets defeated there, comes back in 14, and Jack defeats him.
I am a Winchester.
And it's like, so that was what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 episodes they had a mic for. What a waste of a plot line, just messy. This season did have the 300th episode, which was the best episode with John coming back. Amazing episode, right? Tearjerker, just everything about that is awesome. But aside from that, Jack is really boring because he lost his powers from the previous season, so he's a human for a majority of the season until he gets his powers back because of Dean Michael. And then, man, I don't know, Cass isn't doing shit, by the way. He's just standing around looking out for Jack. Otherworld Bobby's cool as well. And then Jack does accidentally kill Mary. It's like, okay, we're getting something. We're getting plot. And here's the thing, that Mary episode, the absence episode where Mary had actual character development, like, they wasted her character. When she was announced she would be coming back at the beginning of season 12, it was like, what is she going to add to the show? What is she gonna do? Completely nothing for the majority of her run until season 14, episode 18, where she was like, okay, she's getting character development, but whatever. And then this finale is kind of out of left field and kind of weird. We have your boy Chuck come back, and it's like, what are you doing here? He's back. Apparently he answered Cassiel's prayers. He's fixing everything. Snaps, you know, he's God, he fixes everything. And then it turns out he's been playing them all along, and he becomes the villain for the last season. Where did this come from? Where the hell was this build up? Like, there was nothing building up to this, and it's just a cool ending, I guess, but it's like, yeah, this is not ideal. Sort of retconning God. Like, I don't know. It's been said before, he has no soul, but it's like, okay, he liked free will. Like, he didn't, I don't know. This is dumb recon. So season 14 is at number 14. Number 13 is season
Pure, it will quench your thirst and transform you.
Leviathan. They're in the pipes. They got themselves a highway to anywhere.
A difficult time figuring out what's real.
Hallucination.
Season 7. Now, in all honesty, I probably should rewatch this season, but all I remember about this season was how boring it was. It's relatively good and okay. With the Leviathan setup, the boys and the Bobby not being able to kill them was a cool way to like, okay, this is cool. But it immediately went to boring filler territory for about a couple of episodes. One of the worst episodes of the series was the wedding episode. The Becky character, like in small doses, back in season 5. But whenever I don't think any of the fan base was like, we need a solid episode with her and her obsession over Sam Winchester. It's like, no, don't need that, but we got it anyways. Lucifer does come back, but in Sam's conscious, in his head. Probably the best part about the season and the overarching story of Sam's character. Dean, on the other hand, he's just being Dean, not really like, more arguing with her brother or whatnot. Like, I don't know, it was so boring. And Bobby dying too. The episode 10, Death's Door, where Bobby dies, it was a good episode. I like emotional weight, but it is completely ruined by the fact that he returns like 8 episodes later on episode 18, Party on Guard.
I'm right here, you idiot.
So, you know, that emotional way is kind of gone. He comes back, the boys complain he should be gone. He wants revenge on Dick Roman. There's I remember a lot of Dick jokes, especially during like the mid-season part, and a lot of filler. Let me just check on like Google. Let me look Google. So, when they return back for the winter break, episodes 11 through 15 or 16, that's all filler. There is no story progression at all. And I don't know if Sarah Gamma just couldn't handle being showrunner, but it was definitely a dip down in slightly quality, where it's like, okay, what's going on here? We're just getting boring filler episode. The season did end off relatively good, relatively on a high note, not super high, with them defeating Dick, both Cass and Dean going to Pretoria. Cass is like, he turns evil too, just because why not, but he goes away because Misha Collins was busy with life, I think, around this time, so he wasn't in the season. Number 13 is season 7. Number 12 season.
Need your help. Before I destroy the world, let me just grab a bag of curly first.
13 is a bad number. So it starts off good. Probably has one of the better, more memorable season openers, right? And they introduce the whole Jack character, who I do like. He's a very powerful kid-like character, and the brothers have to live with that. And you know, he accidentally or purposely brings back Cass from the empty. They introduce this thing called the empty, the big empty, which just serves as a MacGuffin for Andrew Dad, but it's also like a cool idea. Like, it's very unknown about this big empty. Apparently, they've been around since God and Amar, so it's a very interesting concept. They use it a few more times, not in the best way. While that's happening, we have Mary and Lucifer being in the other world, and then they meet the other Michael world. Hooray! We get to see fan service characters. Charlotte comes back, Kevin comes back, Bobby comes back. You know, the well-known fan favorite characters come back, which is cool to see. Now we're actually starting to like season 13. It was way better than season 12 so far, right? Like, the first half was pretty good, and then the first half of the second half was pretty good, until your boy Gabriel shows up, and it's like, well, this Gabriel has to be from the other world. Our Gabriel died from season 5, making the ultimate sacrifice by confronting family, right? No.
Gabriel?
The fuck? Like, why? What's this retcon? Why? Listen, I don't mind me some fan service, but this is just wrong. Like, he should have stayed dead. Like, why is he coming back? Why? And they just bring him back for fan service, and like to kill him off just because. It's like, why? Why would you do that? And then the finale, the very corny, lackluster, wired fighting between Lucifer and Dean, or like Michael Dean. Wow. Was that there? This is supposed to create the apocalypse, the fight between Michael and Lucifer, right? And it doesn't even blip church building that they're in. Like, oh man, it was embarrassing. I was starting to like this season, right? Again, episodes 18 to 23 are kind of rough. This is where I would say that are the good seasons, but 13 just like maybe passes it for me. But yeah, the retcon with Gabriel and the whole lackluster finale fight was really overall not that great. But that's number 12. Number 11 is the most recent season, is season 15.
You, the fans. Through blood, sweat, laughter, and tears, you've kept us on for 15 years.
There's no way we would have ever been here without you.
15. Now, upon thinking about it, the structure of this last season was not the best. It was pretty lackluster, where the first 3 episodes are the effects of God being a childish kid, story build up, and more filler. We got Michael come back, God takes out the bull thing, more boring filler episode, and then more God build up destroying other world, and then we get to the last chunk where God facing everyone and they defeat him. I don't know, just thinking about it, it's just like, it's not the best season, it's not the worst season. If I were to give, I would give like an okay overall, but since I liked the last episode quite a bit, mainly because because I realized it would be the last time I would see the boys, see the Impala, and hear Carry My Wayward Son on the show. I could listen on YouTube or whatever all the time, but on the show, I've been stuck with it for so long, and it's like, it's ending. Not the best way, but it's also not the worst either. So, you know what? I liked it. But getting there, the journey and the build up to that was kind of rough. It was not the best. It's got the last call episode, whatever. We have, oh god, what else? Some character comes back, but it's definitely fan fiction, right? This last scene is like fan fiction slash fan service, basically. And while I like some of it is just kind of like, okay, don't really need that. There even still some retcons, but I don't care about retcons. The only retcons I cared about were Chuck and Gabriel. If there's other little small retcons, sure, why not? Really couldn't care less about that. But there's still some retcons, still bad writing, still lackluster structure. But in the end, because of the last episode and because of some of the good and better and decent episodes of this season, it's like, you know what? I'll give it a passing good. Number 11 is season 15. Alright, so we're getting to a point where the rest of these seasons are actually good, and like good to pretty good to really good to great. Really started season 13, but at number 10 is season.
You're practically respectable.
Because something always does. You can't outrun your past.
He has been different from the jump.
6. Season 6 is an interesting one. I remember not liking it too much when I first watched it, but upon multiple rewatches, found the season to be quite fun and entertaining and good. Starts off kind of weird, like, not gonna lie, but when it got, it grooves and starts filler episodes. This season and season 4 has the best fun filler episodes in my opinion. But we had the whole solo Sam for the first half, which is great. For some reason, the later seasons don't have this dragged out first half thing, but I don't know, they want to do some things. But they dragged out in the first half with Solo Sam. They fix it. I love Solo Sam. He
Am I really that gawky?
was kind of aggressive and kind of somewhat evil and kind of soulless, basically. Not questioning anything, just be like, yep, I'm doing this for the job. The second half starts with the whole Eve thing, which they killed her off like 4 episodes too early, like 3 episodes too early, and it's like, well, what's the point? And speaking of villains, there's like 3 different villains in this season. We have Crowley, who's great, Raphael, who's okay. Despite him being an archangel, he doesn't feel threatening at all for some reason. Eve, who's a threat, but I feel like it's introduced halfway, but I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of her as well. And there's also this mystery of how Sam got out of hell, because it would not have been easy. Someone got him out, or some entity got him out. Turns out it was your boy Castiel. How was that even possible? I thought it was impossible to get into the cage, basically. And Cassius went up, grabbed the sword, and whoop, come back. Soulless, knowing. Episode 20. By the time I got to episode 20, I don't think I cared about who got Sam out. Kind of forgot about it. But I was like, okay, sure. The whole Lisa and Ben thing is alright. It would have been going in circles, so they would have kept him around. Them being captured by Crowley and the villain or something. It would have gone in circles. And the season ended relatively good. So, in terms of narrative, it was quite messy. But what makes up for it is filler episodes. The First Mistake, bringing forth the Titanic episode, the Western episode, the End There Were None homage episode. That was a really great homage. The X-Files opening / Ask episode. That was a lot of fun. The Dragon episode. A lot of fun. We have the whole Alien episode and the You Can't Handle the Truth. So, there's some pretty solid filler episode. We'll get into the narrative. Narrative was okay, but what makes up for it is relatively good and somewhat amazing filler episodes. So, that's number 10 is season 6. Number 9 is...
Scared of the thing in my closet, he gave me a 45.
What was he supposed to do?
He was supposed to say, don't be afraid of the dark alone.
This is Dad's single, most valuable possession. Everything he knows about every evil thing is in here.
9 is season 1. Not for bad putting season 1 this low, but I just think the other seasons that I have above him are slightly better. Mainly because season 1, when rewatching it, has no narrative. It has no focused narrative at all. When you really look at it, you only need to watch the pilot episode, part of the second episode, and then the last 3 episodes. And that's basically what you kind of need. It captures the boys and the brothers and their father's relationship and the whole line and notebook thing, saving people, family business. That line, in terms of a narrative, it's not there. But that's not a bad thing. This whole season feels like an introduction and prologue to the
Pick up where he left off. Saving people, hunting things. The family business.
show, which it does. Original showrunner Eric Kripke just wanted the show to be about 2 brothers hunting urban myths and legends. And that's what this season is. They introduce a bunch of demons, monsters, ghosts, vamps, like, the relatively well-known creatures and whatnot. So I'll give it that. So at number 9, as low as it is, it's season 1. I feel bad for putting it there. Number 8 is
Look, there's no easy way to say this. Something happened back there in the church.
Am I? Doesn't sound like me.
Never get tired of doing
Sam, I've been waiting for you.
Season 9. This is an interesting season because we get Angel Sam, we have human Cass, and Dean's in the mix in the middle of it. And we have Angels on Earth because of your boy Metatron, because he's super meta. Which is both a positive and a negative from the villain, which is Metatron. There's some moments where he feels too meta to the point where it kind of ruins the scene. Now the actor, he's great, but he feels a bit too hammered down and too over the top, too meta for me, from my personal taste. Definitely a good and okay villain. I don't know, man. The last chunk of episodes, I feel like episodes after the Blade Runner episode 16, where Dean gets to have the mark Cain on him, which is another thing they introduced halfway into the season. Dean gets the mark of Cain from your boy Cain and Abel, or mainly Cain. He needs to find the blade, and when he holds it for the first time, it is actually a very effective scene where he struggling and is like, what is this power? And it's actually really good. But in doing so, like after that, 17 through 23 is kind of hard to watch through, mainly for me. We have an okay Jodie filler episode, relatively good episode, episode 18, another okay episode. 20 was a setup, the first spinoff, Plan spinoff, which I forgot to mention, and 13 how we were Winchesters, which would have been better with this one. I do like the spinoff in this one. It's very ambitious, but wouldn't have worked. 21 is actually really good. Them killing Abaddon. Abaddon is another villain. She's like a semi-villain. She's really good, really like her, but she does die brutally by Dean. You know, there's a look on Dean like, am I turning into a monster by having this blade? By the end of it, he turns out to be a demon. That's a very cool opening shot, ending scene, which is a relatively good finale as well. But the whole angel thing and Cass being an angel lasted again kind of first half, relatively like Jeremy Carver's sort of angle to drag these out for the first half, which I think is a good, idea. And then right after that, Cass gets his powers back, semi-powers back, and it's going to be slowly fading away, but starts killing angels. There's Angel on the Angel War, which needs to be stopped. But then Gadriel, the angel that possesses Sam, again, it was bound to, like, everyone watching, I feel like was just kind of knowing like, okay, this is gonna clearly backfire. Both the boys just doing things on the fly, kind of like the show now, just being like, yep, we're doing this, just deal with it. And then it turns out he betrays them because, angels are dicks. It's a pretty good season. It kind of falters down in the last 6 episodes. So number 8 is season 9. Number 7 is season.
But maybe I don't want to be fixed.
Chester, one of us.
Where's my brother?
Where's the porn?
Sexy for my love.
Season 10. Now the most interesting thing about season 10 is the fact that there's no big bad aside from, I guess, Dean, but that lasts on 3 episodes. It's that it's a bunch of smaller stories or small stories spread throughout a 23 episode season, and there's no officially an overarching arc. Well, the only thing that's big in the overarching arc is the whole Mark and Dean getting rid of it. But aside from that, there's a bunch of small villains spread throughout, a bunch of small stories for each character. Crowley with his mother Marina, who I've always liked. Cass with the whole Claire thing. Both of the boys dealing with Cole and Charlie and getting rid of the Mark, and then Charlie herself has a arc as well. There's the Stein family's a villain for one point, Cole's a villain at one point, Robina's a villain at one point. So I think this was really done, really well done. A bunch of small stories kind of spread out, and so I don't know, I've really liked that aspect of season 10. The more I rewatch, the more I think about it, it's like I really like that aspect of 10. So I don't know if it's just me, but I kind of like, yeah, this is a really good, fantastic episode. I mean, it recaps everything about the show that's good about it. It's great. They make fun of themselves, and it's really awesome. Now, again, as I mentioned earlier, the disappointing sort of end of Demon Dean was so entertaining. The end is like, 3 episodes. They kind of make up for the whole small stories and whole Cain coming in back in order to just kill Cain. I guess the struggle that Dean has, I do like that, but I think most people would have wanted Demon Dean. But his struggle to contain this mark of being, having the itch to kill, the drug basically, like a goddamn addict. You be like, I want to kill, but it's interesting and good. So that's number 7 is season 10. Number 6 is season.
Hope hell you boys are ready. This war has just begun.
Who the hell are you?
I'm the girl that just saved your ass.
Season 3. While this season has a short season, it definitely leaves an impact on me and I feel like everyone else. This season happened during the writer's strike, and so there was only 16. And again, despite that, it turned out to be a very good season. It starts off relatively good, especially with episode 3 with Bella, and the whole "All's my shoe" scene was great. Dives into filler territory. But then guess who shows back up? Gordon. Gordon is probably the one and only best human villain character ever, because they knew how to do it at that time. Because he was this hunter who always see everything black and white, and he goes after the brothers, more specifically Sam, because he finds out that Sam is part of the demon kid deal with the yellow eyes. So in his mind and his perspective, he's evil because he sees everything black and white, and he's the reason why they show introduce the whole gray area with the whole supernatural being. There's some vamps that are nice, some are evil, and it's everything's always a gray area. Nothing's ever black and white, and he used that character to introduce that, and that's what makes him so great. Especially his death, where Sam gets his head off. Amazing bloody scene. Wish would have seen more blood, but it's a really fantastic episode and scene. Your boy Gordon, he's an amazing actor, so I'm glad that he's doing more things because he's really good. Season also has Mystery Spot. Gabriel comes back back, the Trisha comes back, and it's like, yep, Groundhog Day. Amazing. Katie Cassidy's version of Ruby I like. I don't know why she didn't come back, but from, Googling and whatnot, I don't know if this is true or not, but she felt that the writer didn't know what to do with her, and so she left. And then Eric Kripke was that it was due to budgetary reasons. I don't know how true that is. I just looked that shit up. I do feel that if the season would have gotten its original 22 episode order, we would have got more fleshed out Bella instead of her time ending, kind of short, not coming back because of the fan base. And Ruby would have been more established, and what did she want when she first introduced? Turns out she's a demon. Sam is like, what does she want? She wants to help. That's weird. Like, why do you want to help? She gives a whole badass that hell is different. Once a human soul goes to hell, it gets corrupted, come back out as a demon. That's how demons are created, which is a very interesting way of doing it and introducing the myth and lore. And then Dean actually dies. This whole arc and season is Dean beginning that deal to save Sam and him dying within a year. And so this season is a year exactly, where more and more the season goes on, he gets more and more worried and being like, I don't want to go to hell.
He was an obsessed bastard! All that crap he dumped on me about protecting Sam, that was his crap. He's the one who couldn't protect his fam. I didn't deserve what he put on me, and I don't deserve to go to...
They can't do that because even when they try to do it, time is on Dean's side. Demon dogs, they get him. He's all killed up. Lilith kisses Sam for some reason. I remember that part. Sam starts murmuring, crying for her Dean. He goes a shot to his eye into hell all chains. Yells for help. Amazing cliffhanger and amazing way to end the season. Yeah, it's, season's really good despite only being an episode. It left a very big and very, emotional impact on me and I kind of felt like everyone else. So number 6 is season 3. We're in the top 5. This is kind of hard. Like the top 5 was kind of hard. I was sitting there thinking like, I don't know which one to put on top. I don't know which one's better. But at number 5 is
You are well and truly on your own. Where's Dean?
We believe the prophet is with them.
And the tablet.
So there's another word of God.
Gates of hell forever? Yeah, that could be important.
Season 8. Now, I will fully admit the first half of this season is not good. It's okay. They try to bring back and force the whole brother versus brother thing, and you can just feel how forced it is. It's like, why are they forcing this thing? Get it. They were 1 year apart, right? Sam didn't want to go save and started a family with this one chick and a dog, while Dean was in purgatory with Cass for about a year. Meets this character named Benny, who is integral. I like Benny, but sadly, Benny does serve as a friction between the brothers, which is annoying. I think he would have been a lot more better, a lot more interesting if he just let him be working alongside with him brothers or whatnot, but that's besides the point. So again, didn't like that part, but there are some fun filler. But what makes up for this season is the second half, right, where you have Naomi controlling Cass. This is angels. They save Cass from purgatory because they need him. Naomi has plans to use him as sort of a soldier, basically. So there's one point where they want the angel tablet. There's tablets all around this, and Naomi orders Cass to kill Dean, and that is a reminder how strong Cass really is. It's as if I forgot, like, oh yeah, Cass is an angel. He's super powerful. He can kill the brothers, and that's a very scary episode. And the villain is your boy Crowley. It's no secret that I love Crowley. He's amazing. Who doesn't love Crowley? He's great. Mark Shepard plays him perfectly. He's awesome. Once they start with the whole trials thing, that to me is where it's like this season turns around. It's like, this is really good. They go have to do the trials, closing the gates of hell. Kevin as a character is good. So you feel for him. It's like you don't feel too bad for him, but it's like, yeah, he's just a normal straight A kid who got sucked into this whole angel crap. And so he's doing that. He's like, he wants it to be over without knowing that you're already sucked in, boy. You can't leave, basically. And so in the end, they almost close the gates of hell. But this season has the best finale ever. The whole angels falling down. The speech from Dean to Sam is actually emotional and actually a very good line. And the whole Metatron thing betraying, that was kind of honest. The whole angels falling and Metatron at the end being evil, kind of rushed. But besides that, it's a really good and fantastic finale to a relatively surprisingly really good season. Number 5 is season 8. At number 4 is surprising is Season 4. This season, well, we're probably watching or thinking about it now. Maybe it's just me, but I don't think the whole brother versus brother thing didn't really get across for me. Like, when Sam starts betraying Bobby and Dean, it's kind of like, I get it, but where did this come from? Basically, Ruby, Jared's wife, Ruby, that version. She was basically manipulating the boys from the very beginning, very start with Katie Cassidy's version. And they did a lot with her in this season, with, sleeping with Sam, having Sam training him, drinking demon blood, and cast demons out. All a ruse so that she can free Lucifer. It turns out she was the most loyal, the most dedicated to the king and the devil, Lucifer. But while that's happening, angels are introduced. This is back when demons and angels were a big threat. As the show would go on, they would become less threatening. But angels or demons meant something. They were big and scary. And the way Cass was introduced, that whole barn scene, amazing, fucking amazing, spot on. It's amazing. All the shot lights blowing out, amazing. All the dark wings and everything. Uriel, complete asshole. The angels are complete dicks. Man, great call from Eric Kripke and the writers. And it even questions both Dean and Sam's ideology. Sam was the one that, you know, believed in God, praying to angels, finding out they're kind of righteous, and the assholes are like kind of ruins it. And Dean's more of the skeptic. But with the show going on, he's kind of like, I'm starting to believe it, but I'm still sort of skeptic. You know, that questions that. We have, you know, Anna, who's a very interesting character, used very limitedly, but she is a very angel, has doubts and disobeyed the order. Same thing with Cass. He is an angel who has doubts and doesn't know between what's right and wrong. But because him talking to the brothers and having, you know, experiences with the brothers, it changes his ways. And the Indian, we find out that angels were never on their side at all. Turns out, yeah, we want this to happen. We don't care about the billions of people on Earth. We just want heaven, our side, to win. Screw Lucifer and the demons and Earth, basically. In the end, no one's on their side except for themselves, Bobby and Cass, and a few other people. So it's a very dark end to be like, oh shit, all I have to rely on is ourselves and maybe God. This is what I really like about the season finale. It's like, oh shit, we don't have to rely on ourselves, basically. So number 4 is season 4. Number 3 is season 11.
Hear me, God. We need your help.
Darkness. Terrible name,
Ghostbusters.
11, the last season that would be under Jeremy Cover. This one's really good. It really is a parallel version of season 5, and you could clearly see that the show is meant to kind of end with this one because they brought out the big gun. They brought out previous Warden, the person Lucifer, could be Amara. Amara is God's sister. So okay, Chuck's not coming, right? God comes in. It felt like an ending. They should have bit an ending, and it's just like when it starts, you know, the finale ends. It's good. They start introducing British people. It's like, okay, they got renewed. But besides from that, and besides from a few filler episodes, the story, the narrative, and this whole filler in this season was great. The baby episode, all taking place in the baby's perspective.
Dude, what's up with the shorts?
Free bunker.
Awesome, all in that Impala. Taking 6 episodes to find out, realize that they're dealing with God's sister. Turn to God, Sam's visions comes back. Turns out it's your boy Lucifer. Lucifer's return, the mid-season finale was awesome. Going into the actual cage, everything red, dark, lightning, all that was awesome. Lucifer being snarky and evil. Cass, you know, both all the writers realizing that Cass has been a wreck and has been useless since season 5. He's been messing up things up. He's been fucking shit up. So he says yes to Lucifer. We get a great performance from Misha, even though it's kind of harking back to like season 7 Misha, where he's like smiling. There's even that one scene where Romina's like massaging Crowley. He gives that look and like, oh god, no, not that again. I started laughing, but you know, relatively good. There's still like, even at the end of the season, there's still mysteries about Amara, but yeah, it's really good. Oh, and the whole Death thing, they killed Death at the end of season 10, so there's not a new Death, but there's a Reaper named Billy who's going on acting as Death. I still don't know why they killed him off. I'm assuming Jeremy Carver meant for season 11 to be the end, which is why they killed Death. The original Death sucked, but turns out they just got renewed, so you know, that sucked, but it's still a really good season. The whole God and Amara thing, and this whole season feels like the brothers are the side characters. Whenever the brothers are the side characters, I feel like it brings out the best of the show. And season 11 shows Lucifer kind of being the main part, Crowley being the main part, Cass being the main. Both of the big entities, God and Amara, are the main part. So it's really good, really interesting. Number 3 is season 11. Number 2 is Season 2. Season 2 is probably my most rewatchable, and it's still, to me, the most rewatchable season. It's just all around awesome. It's got more the best filler category of each season, like from episode 15 through 18. Really good filler episodes. We did like 5 straight episodes in a row. The season starts out with a banger with killing off their father. The whole first season was looking for their father, and once you know they get reunited, turns out he gets killed off. He makes the ultimate sacrifice, and it's like, oh man, that sucks. I remember crying so hard out there. And then you know they're mourning, they're grieving. They meet other hunters. Ellen and Joe are good characters. Gordon is introduced, crazy psychopath. While that's happening, the whole Yellow Eye arc starts bleeding in as well. These kids like Sam, who has these powers because of the demon blood he fed to these children when they're infants. I mean, Ava, Andy, the black guy, the crazy girl, black girl, I don't remember their name, but they all are in a competition that the Yellow Eyes want them to fight who will be the best. You don't know, but not knowing the best to free Lucifer. That's his plan, by the way. And then so Dean has a secret to Sam. Sam might go crazy because the father knew and whatnot. And so there are like aspects in Sam might go evil with Meg coming back and possessing him. And it has probably like the best episode, like I guess filler, where what is or what should never be, where Dean just wants to be normal. Like the whole point of the whole show is family, right? So Dean just wants to be with his family, start their family, with his mom and dad, his parents, his brother, and be happy, have a normal life. He hasn't had that in so long, or even ever. And so when it turns out, you know, he realizes this and realizes that all the people he saved are gonna be gone, he can't do it, you know? He goes to his father's grave, starts crying, be like, why is life, you know, not fair? And
Why is it my job to save these people? Why do I have to be some kind of hero? What about us, huh? When mom's not supposed to live her life?
So a really good season finale. They kill it, and it's cool. It's awesome. It's still the best. Still has the best ending. Still has the best original ending. Now I'm not saying the ending that we got for season 15 was bad. It was relatively okay and good and made sense. This ending, this season, made a lot more sense. It was just wrapping up a bow. Like season 1 through 5 has this connective tissue throughout it. And if they, would have ended it on this season, it would have ended beautifully, because the whole team free will thing, the whole like we don't want to do this, but the whole angels and demons like, no, you have to do this because it's destiny. And it's like, no. And throughout the season, they're just kind of like, no, we're not doing this. We gotta escape from this. We don't have to do this bullshit. And they keep getting told by various different characters, Lucifer, Gabriel, and like all these other characters be like, no, this is your destiny. Even Michael's like, you know what happens to your mother, right? She wants what she wants, and she will always die in that crib next to Sam. It's always going to happen. And it's like, well, shit, it's kind of depressing, right? Guess this is it. This is our destiny, right? And no, even if they still feel somewhat defeated, the brothers are like, no, we're not gonna follow this team free will. It's like not falling for all this destiny BS. So in the end, one of the brothers have to make the ultimate sacrifice because they have to save the universe, because there's going to be a fight between Michael and Lucifer. It's supposed to create the apocalypse, even though season 13 didn't show that, but don't forget about that. Season 5, creating the apocalypse, right? It was leading up to this fight. And in the end, they do stop it. Dean stops it with the Impala driving up Cass' ass butt. In doing so, kills Cass and Bobby. Lucifer beats up Dean. But doing that as well, Sam, enter fights Lucifer and actually beats him. Control of him, and ultimately brings him and Michael both down into the cage. Making the ultimate sacrifice and having Dean go live the normal life that he wanted, right? The first couple of seasons is like he wants a normal life. Well, he's got it. But the sad part is life ain't fair. And